Hey DC Collectors, welcome to a brand new episode of the show. Today we are wrapping up our look at the DC Multiverse Batman Last Night on Earth wave of action figures from McFarlane Toys. Today's episode we're going to look at the Collect-N-Build Bane action figure. Now before we get into this review, if you will, hit that subscribe button and that like button and share the content with all your friends. I sure would appreciate it. Now let's get on with the build. To get all of these pieces here to build Bane, what did we have to go through? First, we had to go through Omega, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Scarecrow. And I'm just going to hold Scarecrow because I don't have the stand right here with me, because eventually he is going to ride Bane's back. But these are the 4 figures that you had to buy to build this Bane figure. So let's remove these guys out of the picture and let's build Bane. So as you can see, Bane comes with a host of pieces. He comes with this huge torso. He comes with a couple of leg pieces, a couple of arm pieces here, a couple of fists, and finally the head. Now, according to all reports online, this thing is impossibly hard to put together, specifically the leg parts. And as you can see, let's get you a good look at that. There's this little lip right here. If you look at the torso, there's a lip right here, so these things really have to pop into place. I'm not looking forward to this, but I did bring my wife's hairdryer up here, so hopefully that will give us a good look, or a good way to heat up these parts and put them together. Let's try to start this build here. First, we're going to put the head on, because this is probably the easiest piece, and if it's not, then I'm in big trouble. So let's put the head on Bane. And yes, that was fairly easy to do. Look at that. Now, there's not much mobility. He does move up a little bit, down a little bit. So that went in fairly easy. Now, I'm wondering if it might be easier if I just attach the fists to the arms first. Let's see if I can move these pieces. Yeah, okay. Just trying to get them a little easier to move there. So when I attach it to the shoulder, let's try this fist. Again, this thing has this lip on it. This might be a little difficult to put in. Yeah, we're gonna have to break out the hairdryer. Okay, now any old hairdryer will do. This is the Hot Tools Professional Iconic hairdryer that my wife uses. You can see it's got a cool, warm, and hot setting. I'm gonna set it on hot, off, low, and high. We're gonna put it on high just so we can get this thing done real quick. But to be honest, don't leave this thing on too long. You don't want to melt your action figures. So this part will probably be sped up after I start it, because who wants to listen to a blow dryer the whole time? So let's go. Awesome. Worked like a charm. You still have to put a little butt behind it, but it is easier to get in. Next up, we're gonna do this arm. As you can see, putting it on the hot setting, but don't do it too long. If you do it too long, you're gonna melt your pieces, and you definitely don't want to do that. All right, so let's just try. You can see here what this looks like. You have to stick this big old ball joint in that little bitty socket right there. We're gonna try and see what we can do with this. In fact, I'm gonna do this one first, and we're gonna see. Again, it might be a little impossible, but we're gonna try it. And yeah, that's gonna be a little impossible, so break this back out. There you go. Now, I will say, when you're doing this, be super, super careful. But when you're holding the pieces, like even when I'm holding the hairdryer on here, you're gonna, and especially since it's set to hot, you're gonna burn your fingers. So keep your fingers out of the way as much as possible, because you definitely don't want to burn them. So let's try to do this one. Got it in. And then the hand fell off, which means I didn't have the hand in very good. When I put this one in, I was kind of on the fence about this one, because it didn't feel like it was in quite good enough. So we're gonna put a little more heat on that and try to get that in. That did it. Felt it go in that time. Good. Whew. Bane is huge, and he's also getting hot. Very hot in my hands. So I know for a fact, because I've already tried this earlier, just to snap these pieces in, they're not going to work. So I'm definitely going to have to put a little heat on the top of these. So here we go. My hands are already on fire. But we're going to start with the left leg. See what we can do. Let's see if that was long enough here. Wow. Did that pop right in? Nice. Whew. All right, one more to go. Look how easy that was with putting the heat on it. Makes it snap in really, really quick, really easy. We're gonna find out though. We're gonna see. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Boom! Oh, there we go, people, and it worked. Holy cow. Now that took about 10 minutes of blow drying. I sped up the video some just so it would be a lot faster for you to see this thing done. But man, that was super easy if you use the blow drying method. Really, the only thing I didn't get in good was this particular hand. But, you know, after the second time blow drying it, it went fine. You can also use the boiling method where you get a pot of boiling water, dip them in there for a few seconds, pull them out, there you go. But I didn't want to film in my kitchen. Let's look at the Bane figure. We want to get a good look at him and see all his articulation and the sculpt and the paint. First, there is the head, and like I said earlier, it's on the ball joint. So, oh, and I pulled it off. And it's coming off really easy now. It's probably because everything's so hot, so it's really easy to come off. You can go all the way around, up, down, not much. Tilt to the side, not much at all either. Of course, the arms, they can go all the way around, have pretty good mobility there. He doesn't have double jointed elbows, but on a figure this big, who would? Of course, his wrist, you know, we saw that, how they work. They do bend that way. His torso turns. Man, this thing's still really, really hot. You can see the bend in his leg right there. Push that back. And he does have some form of articulation at the ankles there and on there. Whew, that is a huge, huge monster of a figure. His legs do rotate this way, that way. Now let's look here at the back. You can see he has a hole right here, and we're gonna grab Scarecrow, and you can see his chest, his stomach has this little tab that pokes out right here. So my only problem with this is that he doesn't really hang over Bane's back like he does in the comics. Like in the comics, his head would be up in here or something, like his head would be over his shoulder, but the position of that tab doesn't allow you to get it in there. I mean, that's as far up his back as he will go, which is sort of crazy. But you can see it still looks like a very, very cool piece, very imposing. I just wish they did a better job of getting Scarecrow up a little bit higher on that thing. Now, as far as the look of this thing, the paint on this thing is absolutely awesome in so far as they did a good job with the paint apps, like getting everything on there, nothing really out of whack. My only problem is the skin tone. Does not reflect what Bane looked like in the comics. And I know they're saying, oh, this is supposed to be for the cover of #2. But if you go back and you look at the cover of #2, he still didn't look that gray. Not to me, anyway. That kind of ruffles my feathers a little bit with this figure. I don't like the fact that he looks like that, which McFarlane can probably just say, okay, you know what? We're going to have a redo on this. We're just going to release a second version of this with a more comic accurate paint app. And I'm sure that he will probably do that down the line. And this will be just a normal comic, regular universe comic accurate Bane. It's unfortunate that he didn't do that with this one though. But as far as the figure itself, I think it's pretty awesome for a Build-A-Figure. Really, really huge. All right, so let's get the other three figures in the video here. We're gonna stick Omega here, Wonder Woman here, Batman here. Now this is your look at the completed Batman Last Night on Earth set from McFarlane Toys. I hope you dig this video. I hope that you find it informative. I hope that everything I've done helps you build this one, if at all possible. And also, if you will, check out the other reviews of each of these figures. There's something cool about each one, so I'll leave a link to in the description for those reviews. Also, if you will, if you like what I've done in this video, if you like the review, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. I sure would appreciate it. You can find me on DCCollectors.com each and every day, and you can find me on social media at DC Collectors. Until next time!